Welcome to another Cardano update. So today I want to start with the Bitcoin downness chart. As you can see, we just put in a new high for this cycle, and I don't think we have topped yet. But I did mention in my previous videos that if we do get to 60% in October, then there is a chance that the altcoin season starts in November and we do not have to wait until the end of December. And I was not really expecting this to happen. I mean, this pretty much happened out of nowhere. And yeah, right now we're at a new cycle high, which is good. And if we do continue going up and we get to the 60% extension, I think that's when Bitcoin dominance finally tops out for this cycle and we got an altcoin season like we got in this previous cycle right here. Now, if we look at the RSI, we are almost overbought, but we are not quite overbought. So maybe we'll do something like we did over here or over here, and we'll get to an RSI of like 85 or so, and then we topped, and then we start dropping like crazy. If you look at the wiki, we are also not overbought here, so maybe we'll go overbought and then we start dropping. That would be the case. Now, if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, after we went to the overbought territory, that confirmed that the top was in, and then we had this correction which took a very long time, and this is when the altcoin season started, as I have already mentioned. So yeah, like I said, if this continues going up until the end of October, and if it does stop in October and then we get a huge correction in November, then it is possible that Bitcoin dominance tops sooner than what it did in the previous cycle right here. As you can see here, we actually topped in December of 2020, which was the 28th of December. So yeah, of course, we do not have to copy exactly what we did here, but, you know, if we will, then it would be okay. But if we don't, that would also be okay because we can finally finish this Bitcoin dominance move and we can finally get the altcoin season. I mean, Cardano is pretty much bleeding against Bitcoin right now, and yeah, it's not going up, but it's not going down either. And right now, if Bitcoin decides that it wants to drop like 10K, that's not going to be good for Cardano because, like I said, AWBTC is at a new low for this cycle. And also, something else that I want to say is that the AWBTC chart is just the Bitcoin downless chart, but upside down. As you can see here, in this cycle, AWBTC only went down. It never actually went up. And if you look at the Bitcoin downless chart, it did the exact same thing, but upside down. So, as you can see, in this cycle, Bitcoin dominance only went up, and AWBTC only went down. So what happens if Bitcoin dominance does something like this? Well, then of course, AWBTC starts going up again. I mean, that would make sense. So converting your Cardano into some other crypto at this point of the cycle is probably the worst idea, because this is where Cardano usually finds support. As you can see in the previous cycle, we had support in this region, and right now we're approaching that region. So I'm not sure if we will get another low. I think that's very unlikely. I think it's unlikely to drop below 390, but I think it's going to continue going down until Bitcoin dominance stops. Then it's going to start reversing to the upside. So yeah, this is not bad. This is actually kind of normal. And if you look at what Cardano did in the previous cycle, yes, here it did not go down in a straight line. It had some pumps. However, if you look at what Bitcoin dominance was doing, you'd see that Bitcoin dominance also did not go up in a straight line. It also had corrections. So that's why the ADA Bitcoin chart actually had pumps. It only had pumps because Bitcoin dominance was going down. I don't think it would have had these pumps without these corrections right here. So for those saying that Cardano was behind, I don't think it is. I think it's just following what it did in the previous cycle. And of course, if Bitcoin dominance only goes up, then there is not a big chance for AWBTC to start going up if it always follows the Bitcoin dominance chart. So, like I said, we need a correction on this chart very, very soon, and of course we're going to get one. I don't think it's going to continue going up forever. That's not how charts work. Charts need to get corrections, and, you know, we are due for a correction. And also, we got a correction in this cycle, and we got a correction in this cycle as well. So why would we not get one in this cycle again? It would not make sense, to be honest. Now, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, as you can see, it's trying to break out of this sideways structure, and we could even put a trend line right here if you wanted to. And as you can see, we are currently testing the trend line, which is good. So if we do break about it, I think Bitcoin will start going to about 80K, maybe by the end of the month, but I'm not sure because, you know, It's Bitcoin we're talking about. If it wants to get rejected again, then it can do something like this, then like this, then like this, and test the trend line for like 5 million more times. And then maybe it starts bouncing in December and we get to 100K by the end of the year. I still believe that is possible, by the way. I just don't know when exactly we'll finally start the pump because, we have already had many pumps and all of these were just fake outs and then we dropped after them. So we could always start dropping now. And if we do start dropping, I think that's actually going to confirm that the Bitcoin dominance top is in. Well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. It's not going to confirm that the Bitcoin dominance top is in. It's only going to confirm that if Bitcoin decides that it wants to go down, and it does go down, and when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins do not react to it. So if Bitcoin goes for like 57K and the altcoins just do not care about that, then I think that's going to trigger the altcoin season. So after it gets to these levels right here, then it starts pumping again, and that's when the altcoin season starts. So we'll have to see what happens with this. It's still very unclear. I mean, the structure that we have been going sideways for like 7 months now, so we have to break out of this at some point. And if we want to do that, right now would be a perfect time. As you know, October is usually a green month for Bitcoin, and I predicted this at the end of the month. I said that Bitcoin is most likely going to start going up in October, and what do you know? It did go up in October, even in September, which was unexpected because September is usually a red month. So yeah, I think it's going to continue going up, but if it doesn't, then we'll at least get an idea if the Bitcoin dominance top is already in or if it's going to continue going up until December. Now let's move on to the Cardano chart because I believe I talked about Bitcoin way too much, but Bitcoin is important right now because without Bitcoin, Cardano cannot really go in a fast great move to the upside. So, we have to get these new lows on the 8-up Bitcoin chart if we actually want to get an altcoin season after that. So yeah, this is normal right now. Now that we talk about the wave count, we are still in a 1-2 step up. Nothing has really changed. We still did not get to my 200% extension right here of the third wave of this 1-2 setup right here. So we still have to do that. The structure, this structure looks very, very messy. I don't know what this is. This is a big, big mess. And maybe you can count this as a 1-2 setup, but this is way too messy. And I would like to see a pump to about 38.9 cents to get to the 200% extension and finish the third wave right here. That would also put us above the bull market support band, and we need to get above it if we want to stay bullish. Now, of course, it's going to be difficult to get above it if Bitcoin dominance continues going up, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, if we get a third wave, then we need a fourth and a fifth, and that will complete a first wave of this C wave to the upside, and this is the C wave of this AB structure. Now, this is still a whole PM count. I don't know if this will happen, but if it does happen, the C wave needs to get to at least 52.7 cents, because that's the 200% extension of this AB structure. So we'll have to see if we get that. And I don't know if I want to expect another low right now in your second wave move down, because, I think it's very unlikely for that to happen. I think that will only happen if Bitcoin goes down right now and if the altcoins actually react to it going down. So yeah, it's very unclear what will happen, but I have a very good feeling about this chart. I believe it will start going up very, very soon. And if it does not, then it should at least get a third wave in December if we do not start one this month or in November. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all our charts. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.